The football war, also known as the soccer war or the 100-hour war, is one of the strangest conflicts in modern history. In July 1969, a short but violent war erupted between El Salvador and Honduras, two Central American neighbors, following a series of heated World Cup qualifying matches. While the roots of the conflict were deeply political and social, the trigger is famously tied to football, soccer, earning the war its unusual nickname. Background: tensions between Honduras and El Salvador. Land and migration issues. Honduras had a growing population, and many Salvadorans migrated there seeking work and farmland. Tensions rose over land reform and discrimination against Salvadoran immigrants, creating resentment in both countries. Economic pressure. Honduras implemented land reforms that displaced thousands of Salvadoran settlers. Economic competition fueled nationalist sentiments, and propaganda inflamed anti-immigrant feelings. The trigger: World Cup qualifiers. Football matches. The 1969 World Cup qualifying matches between the two nations became highly charged. On June 8, 1969, Honduras won the first match 1-0 in Tegucigalpa. On June 15, El Salvador won 3-0 in San Salvador, sparking rioting, attacks and harassment of visiting fans in both countries. A decisive playoff match in Mexico City on June 27 ended in El Salvador's victory, further escalating nationalist fervor. Football as a catalyst. While the matches themselves did not cause the war, soccer became the symbolic trigger for a conflict rooted in land disputes, economic hardship and social tensions. The war. Start date: July 14, 1969, when El Salvador launched an invasion of Honduras. Duration: approximately 100 hours, 4 days, earning the nickname, the 100-Hour War. Combat. Fighting occurred along the border regions, with the Salvadoran army advancing into Honduran territory. Honduran forces resisted, and both sides experienced air and ground skirmishes, but the scale was relatively small. Casualties and damage. Estimated 2,000 to 6,000 people killed, mostly civilians. Tens of thousands were displaced as Salvadorans fled Honduras. Infrastructure and farmland were damaged, deepening economic hardship. Ceasefire and aftermath. Organization of American States (OAS). Mediation. A ceasefire was brokered on July 18, 1969, with Salvadoran troops withdrawing by August. A demilitarized zone was established along the border, but tensions persisted for years. Political consequences. The war worsened political instability in both countries. In El Salvador, the conflict highlighted land scarcity and social inequality, contributing indirectly to the Salvadoran Civil War, 1980 to 1992. Historical oddity. Despite being known as the football war, soccer was only a catalyst for pre-existing tensions, not the root cause. The name captures the weird intersection of sports and geopolitics, a rare example where a game sparked international violence. Legacy. A cautionary tale. The football war demonstrates how sports can amplify nationalist sentiment and exacerbate underlying social and political issues. Historical curiosity. Often cited in history books and trivia as one of the weirdest wars in modern times. Soccer diplomacy. Later efforts in Central America recognized the need for sports diplomacy to prevent such symbolic triggers from escalating conflicts. The football war is remembered as a brief but brutal conflict with a bizarre trigger. While soccer matches provided the spark, the war was ultimately a reflection of deep social, economic and political tensions between El Salvador and Honduras. Today it stands as a reminder that even the most popular of games can, under the right circumstances, become entwined with the machinery of war.